Hi folks, this is Jake from Tier 3 Tactical. Today we're going to be talking about a loadout for a Delta operator, sometimes called CAG, Combat Applications Group. These guys are the Army's component to the Tier 1 Special Operations community. Obviously they're pretty cool dudes, they have a lot of very high speed gear, so let's get straight into it. We're looking at their helmet systems. Now, if you've looked at any of my other loadout videos, the DevGear one, Rangers, MARSOC, whatever, you'll know that the helmet systems are actually some of the most expensive systems that anyone's going to wear. So if we take a look at this graphic, you can see that almost all these guys are wearing an OpsCore high-cut helmet, Pelter Contact 3s. That's changing, but that's still the most common one I see. They're wearing some type of IR marking device, the Hellstar 6. Sometimes they have a light, like this one. There's a Princeton Tech Charge MPLS. I see that pretty common. And then the most expensive piece is going to be the PVS 18 ground panoramic night vision goggles. That's $42,000. And then the mount for that alone is $1,600. So this brings us the helmet system total to $46,876. Now let's talk about the plate carrier and that first line gear that Delta guys are going to be wearing. Most of the equipment that I've seen them wear is cry equipment in general. Plate carrier wise, they're commonly wearing the JPC 2.0. Sometimes they're wearing the Airlight series, sometimes a few others, but the 2.0 is what I see them wearing the most recently. Most of the time they're wearing the Cry Smart Pouch Suite with that, and that's just a series of random pouches for ammo, general purpose, what have you. I don't know what plates they're wearing, so I just threw in some Velocity Systems plates there, and most of the time you can see them in the Cry zip-on back panel, and those are meant to be configurable depending on their missions. A lot of times you will see these guys with PMags and an extended Terran Tactical base plate. Same thing with the pistol mags, the Glock 17 or 19 mags with TTI base plates. First aid kit, again, that's going to be just general medical stuff. And radio-wise, oftentimes you're carrying a Prick 152 Harris radio or the slightly newer version of that as well. And that's actually the big expense for the plate carrier. That's about $7,000. So the plate carrier and equipment associated with it is going to run just about $10,000. Next, we're going to talk about the clothing they wear, the combat top and bottom, belts, that kind of stuff. Again, this is going to be generally, you'll see guys wearing Cry combat uniforms, the G3, G top and bottom. I haven't seen any G4 yet. I've also seen some information on the internet that's saying maybe they're going to Patagonia. If you go to the article below, I've linked to what people are saying they're starting to go to. But recent images of them doing training and whatnot still show them wearing a lot of the Cry top and bottom. So that's what I've included here. A lot of them still wear the Cry MRB belt. Holsters, almost universally a Safariland ALS holster. Mag pouches are, choose what you like, but I've seen S-Tac a lot, and a few others. Boots almost always are Salomon Quest boots, mid-height, but again, that's going to be operator's choice on that. The total for the clothing is going to come up to about $1,226. Now let's move on to the fun stuff. Let's talk about their rifle. Now remember, I'm not talking about every weapon system that they could conceivably be carrying. I'm talking about what most assaulters are going to carry on most missions. And that is almost always going to be the HK416. And that rifle alone is about $3,000. Again, I don't know what the government's actually paying for this. This is just the price that you would have to pay if you wanted to buy that rifle. They are all sporting guys like SMR rails, which are pretty cool. Modular rail system that is made specifically for the HK416. The sights, again, are kind of operator's choice, but I've seen quite a lot of people going with the EOTech XPS-3 and a flip-up magnifier or not, depending on their mission. I've also seen a few 1-6, the Vortex 1-6s, or just a few other random optics as well, but a red dot with a flip-up magnifier seems to be a favorite of theirs. Rifle lasers, this image is one of the first ones I've seen with the NGAL laser. It's just a smaller PEC-15, basically, made by the same company. But it's pretty cool. It's a little bit lighter, a little bit smaller, so if you got a smaller rifle, it takes up less rail space. Iron sights, those most often are going to be Knights Armament iron sights front and rear. They seem to still be favoring Surefire. SOCOM 556RC suppressors, which is what you see in the graphic. A lot of times you will see a VTAC do a 2-point padded sling. Rifle stocks, again, that's going to be, sometimes you see the Magpul ones. This one, I believe, is an LMTB5. That's a pretty common one as well. And the laser, light laser setup are almost always set up for Surefire lights, which is the Surefire Scout M600C. And again, a lot of this equipment you can get straight off of Amazon. If you go to the link below, you'll see that I've included in the article a downloadable spreadsheet with all this information, all that kind of stuff, links to where you can get it. All right, moving on to the sidearm. These guys are most often carrying a Glock of some type. And that's pretty standard across most special operations communities. I've included a Glock 17. Some guys carry that. A lot of them carry the Glock 19. Again, I think that depends on their mission, and what they personally like. Most often, you will see a Surefire X300U light on there. Again, you might see a few others. An RMR red dot is pretty common, but I've also seen a few other images where they have a Delta Point Pro on there, and that seems to be pretty popular both in DevGear and Delta, so maybe switching to that. I personally like that optic. That's what I have on my Gucci Glock build. And the Magwell, that's a operator's choice. I've seen a few different Magwells, and if they're using Gen 5s, there's actually not a lot of Magwells they can use, but if they're using Gen 4s, there's tons of Magwells. So I've just thrown on a Dawson Magwell that will fit a Gen 5 in the downloadable list in the link below. This brings the total to 1,426 for the pistol. Lastly, I have included a few miscellaneous items. They're almost always carrying a GPS, and the one in this is that's a Fortrex, a Garmin Fortrex 401. But a lot of times guys are using like Garmin Tactics, GPS watches, and things like that. But again, that's going to be kind of operator's choice there, whatever their specific squadron may buy for them. iPro, probably Oakley M frame, but again, that changes. And some miscellaneous patches, electronic stuff I've included in there. So miscellaneous is probably about $1,000 or so. So if we total up all this cool equipment, you got about $10,000 in rifle, you've got about $40,000 on your head. What does this actually add up to? Well, it adds up to quite a lot, as you might imagine. The total that I have is $71,802. Again, I don't know what the government's actually paying for this, but this is what the listed prices for the equipment that you can buy would actually total up to. So it costs a lot to look pretty cool. If you like this kind of article, feel free to subscribe, like, and maybe give it a share with somebody who might be a gear weirdo like you and I. Thank you for watching this video. Bye.